thank you for everyone who participated in the fire extinguisher training yesterday. We had a great turnout. I just want to thank everyone who got certified to use a fire extinguisher. A few topics, quick topics. These are just some reminders. Breaks. First shift and second shift, you will have a break now without a supervisor here. Please do not take advantage of that. Breaks are still 10 minutes long. I got reports that some people are taking 15 to 20 minutes. It will always get back to me if you are exceeding the 10 minutes, so just please be mindful of that and just continue taking 10-minute breaks. Food or drinks on the floor. It's not so much food, but drinks. I see a lot of people taking a cup of water from the old production office and taking it on the floor and drinking it before they get back to their area. Please just finish the water inside the office, throw it away before you proceed going back to your area. Stretching. It's been reported to me that people aren't taking stretching seriously anymore. Please, this is for your benefit. It's to prevent injuries. And if you are feeling tight while packing out anything, please take 10 minutes to stretch out again so you're preventing injuries. Production floor. So it's been, someone told me while they were on a fork truck, somebody walked right by, head in the phone. That guy operating the forklift wasn't paying attention, he could have hit that person. Please, when you walk through the floor, stay off your phone. Just wait till you get to the break area before you look at your phone. And then we've been doing a great job. I want to thank everyone for doing a great job with the cleaning at the end of the shift. Solvent tanks, garbage, doing an excellent job in all 3 shifts. Just one area we got to improve on is just your personal area. Please just clean that up for the next person. Straighten it up. Last thing I need to talk about is all the rework is officially scanned in. I want to thank the second shift material handler, Nick. He took time yesterday out of his day to scan everything in the location. Operators, please scan all the rework out of location now. You have to go in physically and look up each part, 5 gallon, 1 gallon, and make sure you're grabbing that rework. And everyone in Wetpack who gets to put anything into the rework station or location, please scan it into location. The label is 7AB. So I know it was brought to my attention that shipping was seeing this location to pick from. 7AB, do not pick from, it's all rework. Any questions regarding that? Yes.
For the ladies upstairs, when they get a customer called in, they go off of what's available on the source screen, and they don't actually look at the location.
Okay, so it's showing that's available to pick?
Yes.
You gotta fix that. Okay, I'll look into that.
If we're putting stuff back in the location, are we also still writing on the paper?
I want to get rid of those papers, I hate them. They're ugly. Yeah, it's terrible. People never create a new one, they just keep on crossing out and writing, so I want to get rid of them. If we have everything scanned in, you get rid of the papers.
I have a question, even though I don't make batches. Now, when they go to make their batches, it's gonna tell them how much rework they gotta go get?
Doesn't tell them, they have to physically look in. I would use the equivalence button and then go by each part, number in the equivalence, just to look up the
Is
location.
that something we might wanna look into, like, building in?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything to
So
make it
you
easier.
got five tails and 2 pints, and you gotta go pick for rework.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Hello, everyone. One little thing, one big thing. Production equipment running during breaks and lunch and on weekends. It was brought to our attention that a lot of the equipment is left running on the floor. So equipment like sealers, labelers, mixers, anything like that, anything you could turn off at any time that you could turn back on when you get back from break or lunch or something like that, I would turn it off. That, you know, the hours on the machine, the unnecessary wear and tear, the electric that it takes to run the machine, all of that can be avoided if you turn your labelers off, your sealers off. If you can turn it off when you go to lunch, go to break even at the end of the day, like the end of second shift, at the end of Friday after the weekend. I've come in on a Saturday and Sunday and seen actual mixers running. And every pot light on the machine and on every machine is on. So if you could turn it off, please remember to turn those things off. This is the big one. So batch pot heat cool connections. I'm referring to the machines that are down on the floor that actually have the pot that you can take a forklift and remove the pot from the machine. That's the 2 large Hawk pots in P2, Hawks 1 and 2, and M3 in P3, and the small Hawkmeyer also in P3. This is a big one that happened last night. The connections were not removed from the pot, so they grabbed the pot with a forklift, started driving out, and they actually pulled the lines and everything off the wall. This is not good because if there's a breach in the boiler lines that are up on there, the water that is in both the return and the feed lines that are up at the ceiling is about 240 degrees Fahrenheit. It's significantly higher than boiling, the boiling point of water. This is a big one because if one of those is breached and it's under about 40, 50 psi downstairs, it's going to rain 240 degree water. That is enough. Just to show you this, I was going to add a very gruesome picture, but I decided against it. But the 240 degree water, or just boiling point of water, will actually burn you instantaneously. It'll give you a third degree burn instantaneously. So that's enough to remove your skin. So it's a very, 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 very scary thing. So I just want to make sure that we understand that that is a potential that is out there on the floor. We have discussed some options on what we could do in case of an emergency, if for some reason a line would burst. But we're still dealing with how we can make that happen. So I think it's important to let everybody know that that is a potential and be aware that when you're moving one of these machines or any one of these machines, that potential is there. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? Wonderful. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to start this off because of what happened on Friday. And I want to use the example to talk about the risks that we have in this company and the people that we have here, and commend 3 particular individuals for being heroes on the day. No one is expected to be a firefighter, but those that do respond make a tremendous difference. So this is a quick snapshot of what occurred. I'd like to just talk about what occurred for those of you who don't know. On Friday morning, 10/5, October 5th, around 6:47, 6:48 in the morning, we were making a drum batch with an open top in FR2, which is a room in P2, and a static charge occurred, creating a fire for material that we make. So we make flammable materials, most people know that. There are procedures in place in order to ensure that these risks are limited, yet things can still occur just like they can in your house. And yesterday, hopefully the example of all the fire extinguisher training reflected that, with grease fires and other occasions at your house. Everyone did exactly what they're supposed to do. So from my point of view, and I think Smooth-On's point of view, everybody deserves a round of applause. And I thank everyone for taking it as seriously as they did, evacuating the building in a timely manner. And again, for the individuals who did respond in a timely manner, deal with it accordingly, and then also leave. So there's a difference between a hero who's acting upon a scenario and someone who's doing it, needing that type of rapport, staying there long enough, causing it to be more of a danger for themselves after the fact. Because many occurrences occur where people have to go back into buildings to save someone trying to do, something that they shouldn't be doing. So I just want to say thank you from my point of view. The first major incident we've had in this building, it's not to be taken lightly. The room, which, I have a photo here, this is a video, and it should only start playing when I click it. This room, which is FR2, which is where we physically make flammable batches, all these 3 rooms are flammable rated rooms. The doors have mechanisms on it that will burn at a certain temperature, and then the door will come down itself to ensure that room is isolated. So this fire was put out in a timely manner,
the stats are incredible once we've watched the video. Those of you who don't feel comfortable watching a fire burn, I'd have no problem with saying that you can leave. I've asked the 3 individuals who did respond, who were in this video particularly, if it'd be okay to show everyone, but I want to educate everyone and show everyone and highlight the fact of that we are not scared of a company to show what happens. It's a learning experience to understand, right? And the people who responded deserve to be recognized accordingly. The sprinklers would have gone on, the room would have been dissipated, and life would have continued as so far. But the building was preserved, and we could return back to a functioning, safe manner in a far shorter time frame because people responded within 20 or 30 seconds, and the fire was put out in 20 or 30 seconds, and you'll see that. Any questions before I show the video? And this time lapses, so it's not going to take too long. One thing I definitely wanted to highlight in this is why I showed it, is the time in which it takes quote-unquote responders, meaning firefighters, to get to the building, and after the fact of getting to the building to getting into the room, the time frame is between 10 to 20 minutes until they get into the building after the fire occurred. That's significant, right? So if we don't do what we need to do, for those of you who feel comfortable doing it, and if we don't have our emergency team on site, meaning the engineers as needed, it can grow out of proportion. And yesterday, again, with the fire extinguisher training, it's much easier to let a fire burn or put it out quickly and dissipate a potential problem. For those of you who remember that terrifying video of that little room burning, the longer you let it burn, the bigger and bigger the problem, until it's not possible to save to some degree. So this starts at 6:47, okay? You're basically 10 seconds in, people are evacuating, as you can see. Now it is flammable, so it is growing in size. Again, like we saw in the fire extinguisher training yesterday, after about 45 seconds, things go out of control, and that was a normal paper fire. 30 seconds in. Watch this screen. No, this cursor's not doing anything. So you've got 3 responders. You've got Dave, Tyrone, and Kerry. No one is going into the room. They're doing exactly what they need to do, right? So they're extinguishing the fire as they need to, as long as they're feeling comfortable, and they evacuate. You can also see they turn around, have a look, drop the fire extinguishers, basically do a recon, and then evacuate. Now again, if we go back and you see it, the fire occurred within 30 or 40 seconds, they're there. And after that, within 20 seconds, like we learned yesterday, you basically don't have much longer to extinguish anything. This is just a timer to show how much smoke occurred from the incident, and the amount of minutes that it took for firefighters to physically get into the building. Again, this is to highlight the fact that you guys, and if I could ask you all to stand up, or not. No? Come on, stand up. You need to stand up. You guys on Friday, particularly are Smooth On Heroes. So we thank you. I thank you. Everyone here should be thanking you. It's a great thing to say we have people in this building that followed the protocol, evacuated as needed, and we had additional people that felt comfortable enough, brave enough, and confident enough with the yearly trainings we do from a safety standpoint that everyone responded in a manner that you'd want to. I mean, I'd be proud of anyone in my house doing the same thing, or if I was to be bold enough to do it. And no one was so bold that they were putting themselves in danger, right? And I want to make that very clear. This is not about saying, oh, we are rewarding those that are going above and beyond but putting themselves in danger. You did the right thing and you still evacuated. Roll call was taken as needed. There was no supervisor at that particular time because it was between the 2 shifts, and everyone responded in a timely manner. The last point of this was just to try and illustrate the fact that how much smoke was created, and then the fact that with our ammonia fan in P2 and opening up the front door and pumping air in, the actual space, if this video rolled for like another 40 to an hour, the entire space cleared up. And most people could return back to work, and everyone did, after you all met in the break room. And from my point of view, although I don't have the best sense of smell, but I could barely smell smoke in the building. So it's nice to know that we have a system that works to make sure that all the fumes that we generate, if there's an incident, are dissipated so it's as safe as we can. So you guys are heroes. Thank you very much. I'm sorry if it was uncomfortable for you, but we as a company are not scared to show this because this is a good thing. This is a learning experience. And we are putting multiple procedures in place to make sure that we have flammable permits now for packouts and batches, and we'll make sure in every way or form that we can limit this type of exposure moving forward. So from our point of view, that's what we want to do to make sure this is a safe environment as much as we can. Okay? Any questions? Okay, thank you.
So ironically, this is Fire Prevention Week, National Fire Prevention Week. So, like Dan said, we're very proud. Everyone has listened. Everyone who took the fire extinguisher training in the past listened. They used the knowledge that they gained and they acted appropriately. And also, repeat what Dan said, everyone that was here acted appropriately. You left the building, you had the roll call, everything went smoothly. It's a learning experience. We have, again, picked up a few more things that either the employee base didn't know or that we didn't know. So I have a few things that are good to know to let you guys be more aware. So whenever the alarm to evacuate the building is sounded, all the doors that have the RFID plates on them, all the doors that have the black pads on them that we use our badges to get in and out, every single one of those doors unlocks, which allows the fire company, the firefighters, access to the building at various places. All the inside fire doors will close. Keep the fire contained in certain areas of the building as needed. There's also something that's called a Knox box. It's just a box, looks almost like an electrical panel that is outside the lab doorway. That white box that's there in the middle. Only the firemen have a key to that box. Smooth On does not have a key to that box. Inside the box are keys to the building. There are access cards to the building. There is a lot of information. There's building maps, there's emergency contacts, there's all kinds of information in that box for the use of the firemen. And then the outside doors will remain unlocked, the inside fire doors remain closed until the engineering department is positive that everything is good to go. Then they will reset the alarm, which allows the outside doors to lock and the fire doors to remain open. So sometimes, because of different things that the guys are doing, it might take longer than others to open the door between the production area and the lab. Those doors will remain closed because they're fire doors. So once everything's reset, everything's good, those doors will open up again and we're business as usual. Now on to the fire extinguisher training. As you know, it was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago. It was just not good weather 2 weeks ago, so we had it yesterday. How's everybody like Tom? Tom is a person unlike any other person that I know, but he does speak to us from experience. He is a firefighter. He's actually the director of the Safety Training Institute at the Northampton Community College, which is now a national OSHA training institute. So, and he's the guy that got that to happen, so he is a very knowledgeable person. And just to let you know, he also reviewed the video while he was here, and he is very proud of the guys, our heroes also. They did everything to what he thinks they should do. They did nothing wrong. So I just have some pictures from session 1. We had 3 sessions, so we just took a couple snapshots so that we have memories to look at in the future. Some people, right up there, fire's out, other people had a little struggle. It also, you've learned that it also depends on if the fire extinguishers are full, if they're fully charged, or if somebody else, maybe 2 people before you used it, it's not fully charged anymore, so then you had to go and get a second fire extinguisher. These are the same things that kind of happen at your house. If you've got fire extinguishers at your house, I hope they're not 10 years old, because you don't know if they're going to function properly. They have the little gauges on them, but it's still a good idea to maybe check them or replace them. And then session 2. And everyone, I must say, everyone paid attention throughout all the trainings. There wasn't any extra talking. They were paying attention. They were seeing what other people did. They were applauding people. They were having a good session. And then last night, they were back at it again at 8 o'clock last night. I would assume you got outside around 8:30 or so. You can see the lighting from the light we have out there by the muster areas. And the same type of training. I just wanted everyone to know that all 3 shifts had the exact same training, the exact same instruction, and hopefully it will help. Hopefully you don't need it, but hopefully it will help in both your work and your home lives. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Okay. Thanks. Done. When you see this funny picture in the yard,
I thought you were going to take her water. I was like, I'm not taking her water.
oh, I didn't really.
I need your water. I need her water.